double down on that?
I can double down on that. We warranty squeaks and rattles for as long as the customer owns the coach. That is something that I do not tolerate.
Hey, Frank from Liberty Coach. How you doing, sir?
Good, Andrew. How you doing?
Excellent, thank you. Good to see you.
You too, you too.
You and the team at Liberty Coach did it again. What are we looking at here, sir?
So this is a 2022 quad slide Prevost. This coach is number 881, built specifically for a client. We're really excited about how it turned out. Can't wait to show you guys the inside.
Well, we're really excited to take a look at this coach today. A lot of people have been telling me Liberty Coach is the finest motor coach in the world. What makes you guys the best?
Well, next year is going to be our 50th anniversary. So you're looking at a culmination of many, many years of Liberty Coach setting the benchmark in the industry. From when we used to do the older Greyhound buses to being the first converter to do the Prevost motorhome chassis starting back in 1978 to where we've transitioned through the years and now today still setting the mark, the benchmark of being the finest coach builder in the industry.
So what are some of the things over the last 50 years that Liberty Coach has learned that's separated them from everybody else in the industry?
Well, I guess it's the utilization of the space, the way that we build the interior, the way that my brother Kurt finds any way possible to make the coach feel larger inside, utilizing all the space that we can for storage, for moving around in the coach, for living space. The way that my sister-in-law does the interior design part of it for the decor, to the exterior paint schemes. Our relationship with Dean Laux, which next year will be a 10-year anniversary. With that relationship, having the finest paint jobs that you can ever imagine on the outside of a coach. So the technology, starting in 2010 with lithium-ion technology, transitioning to Volta, to where we stand today, having the largest, most powerful inverter battery charger units in the industry to be able to power a multitude of things. Communication aspects that we have, the ease of technological usability of the coach, and then the service. So there's a litany of items that we have done that we continue to build upon, that everybody in the industry looks toward us and tries to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want to show us around this 2022 here and show us some of the things that make you guys the best?
Absolutely.
This is a quad slide coach. How many quad slides do you do in comparison to double and triple slides?
Well, we do 4 quads a year. We probably do 3 or 4 doubles a year, and the balance of our 14 to 15 units a year is going to be made up of triples. The quad slide has a certain purpose that people want to have it for because of big room on the inside for, you know, multiple people, or they just want to have a quad slide compared to a triple or a double. You know, it's just up to them.
Yeah, now is there a reason that you stick to 15 coaches a year, or what's, is there a...
Well, 15 coaches a year at the level of which we build. I mean, when you go through the interior of the coach, the exterior of the coach, all of the time and hours that we put into it, which is significantly more than our competition, there's only so many people that you can hire that can do this type of work and this type of quality. Even though some of the stuff that we have is done by machine, there's still the human aspect of it that is very difficult to nurture and to work with through all the years that we've been in business. So that kind of limits you then as far as how many you can do a year at this level.
So this is a one-off custom piece of artwork all the way around. Let's take a look at it.
All right, so down here in the first bay, this is a pass-through bay with 2 slide-out trays in it that go from the passenger side and also on the driver's side. We have the outside chairs mounted on the first 2 bay doors on either side, so you have a total of 4. We have storage drawers up here on top. We have a tool tray right here.
Nice.
We get into the second bay here. Once again, this is a slide out. We have our entertainment center for the lower bay area. Again, we have drawers here. We do a significant amount of labeling throughout the coach because people don't use a coach on a daily basis. You know, they may go away from it for months at a time and come back and don't always remember what things are or where they are, so we always have done a significant amount of labeling throughout. This is unique to Liberty Coach. We add a structural member into the Prevost chassis so that we can have a separate body section that slides out for the 55-inch TV. Very unique to us.
Yeah, really just effortless how you pulled that out.
All of this that is made, the slide out, the mounting apparatus, everything is made by Liberty Coach in-house. Notice also the stainless steel polished trim that we do on the sides of the beams also. Even though that is a stainless steel structure, as you probably know on the H345 Prevost chassis, we still trim it and polish it as well. Our next bay back here is what we call our entertainment area. You've got a lower bay refrigerator, storage drawers. We also have placement for an outside grill. And also on the Prevost, as you know, Andrew, but the audience may know not as much, how high the bays are on a Prevost chassis compared to any of the other manufacturers that are out there, such as Newell, such as any of the Class A's. You don't have to be getting down on your knees to get into a bay to get to something. It's all right level here. Storage here as well. Also how the slide rooms are all radiused. No sharp corners. Knock your head on.
Yes, sir.
Been through that enough.
Yes, sir.
This is the water compartment area here. You have an outside spigot, faucet, the plumbing area with a reverse osmosis filtration system, water pumps, the water heater. We've got a 40-gallon water heater on board, stainless steel fresh water tank, aluminum holding tank. We have a instant hot or tankless water heater for the shower. So if the main water heater were to fail or you run out of hot water, which at 40 gallons is a lot of water, you can go to that to have hot water in the shower instantly.
Yeah, talking about a 40-gallon hot water tank, how big are your holding tanks in this coach?
The freshwater tank's going to be right around about 175 gallons, and the holding tank's going to be just about the same as well. And the black and gray are in one tank, and then we also do a gray water bypass for areas where you can just let the gray water go into a separate dump area.
That's a lot of hot showers. Now, how about your diesel fuel carrying capacity?
On the Prevost chassis, we've got 238 gallons of diesel fuel and about 16 liters of DEF. 238
gallons? I think that's leading in the industry?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. And real quick, as we're walking around and you were talking about the slide outs, I've got to just, tip my hat to Dean Laux, the artist that does these paint schemes. You could see all these drop shadows and ghosting, and just the art doesn't stop even on the insides of the slide outs. You could see there's a different pattern ghosted in here. Really a stunning coach. Dean doesn't stop thinking of cool stuff. How long have you guys been working with Dean now?
This will be 10 years next year, so we started in 2012. So it's been exclusive with Dean since coach number 745, and you're looking at coach 881 at this point.
Yeah, definitely a custom piece of artwork.
Thank you. Something that you may notice on the side of the coach is these radar units. So there's 3 of those mounted down the side of the coach. This is exclusive to Liberty Coach. This is our blind spot detection system. So when we're in the cockpit of the coach, we have lights on the windshield posts on the inside that alert the driver of vehicles on either the driver or passenger side, as well as approximately 20 feet behind the coach, which is essentially what your tow vehicle length is. So as a vehicle is coming up along there, those lights will come on to let you know there's somebody there. And then we also have the bird's eye camera system, which Liberty Coach was the first to install back in 2016. So we have a complete bird's eye view of the coach for about 1.5 lanes on either side, and about the same distance, 20-ish feet front to rear.
Nice.
Again, to aid the driver for the safety aspects of it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, now, talking about safety, I know Prevost and Liberty Coach do a lot of things that no one else in the industry does. What are some of the things that Prevost and Liberty Coach do for safety?
Well, on the new coaches that we have today, not only because Liberty Coach adds the blind spot detection system, Prevost has a new advanced driver assist package, which is your more advanced cruise control, adaptive cruise control system, plus a collision alert heads-up display now that'll come up on the windshield of the coach. As you're getting close to somebody or somebody does a panic stop on you, which will also apply brake at the same time. Now, Prevost for many years, going past probably the last 12 plus years, has had an ESP system on board which monitors the yaw of the coach. So let's say, for an example, you get into a situation where you're getting the on-ramp or the off-ramp a little hot or a little fast, or something gets in the way and you have to make an adjustment. The coach will automatically start applying brake to certain areas and cut the fuel back to get the coach back to a level position, so you don't get the coach yawed out of shape so bad. So along with that, the stainless steel structure, the way the coach is built, the driver protection areas with the beam work that's underneath the driver's seat and around the driver area. It's very unusual when you hear about a seated coach being in some sort of a highway accident that anybody is injured or killed. You'll have injuries, of course, but as far as somebody being severely injured is pretty rare.
Is there any type of safety testing that Prevost does that Class A motorhomes aren't doing at all?
Well, Prevost has done a lot when they did the suspension systems, the test tracks that they've done throughout the world, both with Volvo and Prevost doing them jointly. So there's a significant amount of safety testing that they do on the chassis, and you can tell this by the amount of seated units or coaches that Prevost has out there that they use as demos just for the company alone. They do a significant amount of testing for millions of miles of real world application.
The Volvo D13 is the power plant in this coach. What's the specs on this coach?
The power plant's going to be, again, the Volvo D13. It's 500 horsepower. It's 1,750 foot-pounds of torque. The coach does get up and get out of the way quickly. It's from a standing start. You'd be surprised. It has a lot of power that way.
Now, is there a reason that, I know some of the other Class A's in the industries use 600 horsepower. Is there a reason that you guys just stick with the 500 rather than the 600 horsepower?
Well, Prevost being in the commercial side of the world as well, we always have to look at weight characteristics on axle per axle. We do a lot of processes that we do to make sure that our weight carrying capacities are correct, and I'll show you that when we get inside. But going back to your point about the engine power, there is available engines that could go into the coach that could take us well beyond 600 horsepower. The problem that you run into is the cooling capacity. There has to be additional cooling capacity done, plus the weight of the package. There's just so much weight there that's just something that we can't do and still do the interiors that we provide on the interior of the coach.
Okay, what's the gross vehicle weight of this coach?
This coach here on a quad slide, full of fuel, full of water, with 2 people in the coach, you're going to be sitting right about 54,000 pounds.
And a double and triple slide are going to be a little bit lighter?
Yeah, they'll be a little bit lighter than that, yeah.
Okay. Can we take a look at that Volvo engine bay?
We've got our little stainless steel storage box that we do back here, all finished on the inside as well. And then in the engine area, pretty effortless to get into there. We do a stainless steel belt guard that Liberty Coach manufactures just to keep everything nice and neat looking. Some people like to have it on, some people like to have it off, but it really cleans up the whole engine area. There's the DPS unit, or the DSP unit, for the regeneration of the exhaust. Our exhaust runs through the roof of the coach to be able to keep that heat from being down on the ground level. Prevost also transitioned to full electric fans back here, eliminating the direct drive unit for the large fan for the radiator. So what this did is it improved fuel economy. It did improve our horsepower slightly as well. It also has made the coach extremely smooth. So when you're sitting at idle or when you're riding down the road, you don't feel this fan kicking in and out, and it's just a very smooth, comfortable feeling going down the road. Coming around on the driver's side here, we have the stainless steel fresh water tank, polished. The holding tank is aluminum, but we do a stainless steel cap at the end of it. Of course, you see all of the signature polished copper that Liberty Coach does. The time invested in that is crazy, but you can look at that on coaches. I know, Andrew, you've seen coaches that are 20 plus years old that still look that good.
It's a timeless design for sure. Yes, sir.
We have our 100-foot water hose electric reel, and then we have here a pull-out washout hand sprayer for cleaning out the sewer hose when you're done. The Prevost has the ability to fuel on both sides of the coach, so we can fuel here on the driver's side as well as the passenger side. We have the ability for DEF only on the one side of the coach, which is the side that you primarily will fuel on.
Now, do you have a 50 amp inlet or a buddy plug on the other side as well?
We do have our 50 amp cord that comes out through the bottom of the floor here.
Okay.
It's a 75-foot length.
Wow.
On the 50 amp cord. It does have a remote control for it as well. And then you have the ability to buddy plug if you need to two separate 30 amp connections, if that's all that's available to you, or you can reduce it down to 30 as well. We have the storage bay here, which a lot of people use for putting these clear tubs in for storage. This is our generator bay. So we've got we make our own enclosure on top of the fact that the generator, the 12.5 kW own unit, is in its own enclosure as well. So our sound level here is reduced dramatically.
Yeah, talking about reducing sound, I know the generator is much quieter than most other generators, but you guys are running lithium batteries, and I see this is only a 12.5. A lot of people are running 20 kWs. What's your reasoning for that?
So back in 2016, we already had been doing the lithium-ion battery technology from 2010, mainly to reduce weight and making a transition to lithium-ion. In 16, I went to Volta. We had been doing some discussing, and so we transitioned to the Volta 58-volt battery banks, which are larger energy packs, if you will. There's 2 of those in the coach. Being able to do that, I was able to share the load of some of the electronics, like your satellite receivers, the refrigerator, the Crestron systems, anything that's very sensitive as far as electrically, to a separate inverter. So I was able to put that over on that side and be able to reduce the 110 or 220 load to then pull the generator size down to then be completely Tier 4 compliant. As Prevost was Tier 4 compliant on the Volvo engine, then we were then as well on the generator side. So that was all kind of the idea of doing all that. And today we've increased our inverter size to be 3 5,000 watt units that we can run 220 equipment with as well. I do believe at some point in time we'll build a coach without a generator and just do additional battery banks.
Have you had any, customer feedback, positive or negative, going from the 20 kW to the 12.5?
With the new system that we've got on the Volta packs, we have people that say, I don't even know why I have a generator.
Yeah.
I just don't use it.
Nice. And how long, I've got to just compliment, this is the best looking generator bay in the industry with that simple Liberty Coach logo. And you've been doing that. I've seen some older Liberties with that. How long have you guys been doing that?
Oh God, it's probably over 25 years.
Timeless design though. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ladder. We supply all the coaches with a ladder. You never know when you need to get, on top of the slide or on top of the coach for some reason. So we provide every coach a ladder.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and as we're going around here too, I see these marker lights all around the coach. Is that something specific to Liberty?
Good eye. So we had these custom made for us. They're a naval bronze casting that is chrome plated. It went through a salt spray situation that would be equal to 18 years. Low, almost no corrosion whatsoever. It's an LED system that is also dimmable. And then we make these stainless steel trim pieces to go around it just to highlight it a little bit. And we have those around the coach. There's 4 on each side, and there's 2 in the rear, and there's 2 at the bottom at the entertainment bay. This would be our second bay on the driver's side. This large stainless steel box here, that's our automatic transfer switch. That switches the system from generator to shore to inverter power. We have our own switch watchdog, which is the system for the logic for making that transition. The gray box that you were looking at up in here, that's what's called the BMS, or the battery management system from Volta, which is the complete, all the logic for the Volta system. The Volta system runs on its own network, which communicates to the inverter battery charger units, as well as the 2 alternators on the back of the coach on the engine, which are 20 kW together, 10 kW each. So we can recharge this entire system, which is about 36,000 kilowatts. We can recharge in about 2 hours of driving down the road, which is unheard of.
Wow. Wow.
Everything is located, distribution panels are in one location here, so if there's any issue that comes up electrically, it's an easy find right here without having to unload a complete bay or cabinets or what have you. One thing that you go into the mechanics of the Prevost world, you know, the way that the structure of Prevost is built is second to none as far as the quality, the strength, the safety of what the Prevost chassis is. Even when it comes down to the slide rooms. Prevost manufactures their own slide rooms. So with that said, the integrity of the chassis is built because around that thought process. This runs on a rack and pinion gear system. So the drive motor for this is actually right here. So a single socket on the bottom of this motor can run this slide room in and out virtually effortlessly if there was a problem with the motor. You just deflate the slide seals, which is very simply done with a single valve, and then you can run the slide rooms in. Because it's on a rack and pinion situation, it will not move on its own. I mean, I've had to, because of whatever reason, just testing it on my own, I've run the slide room out about 3 or 4 inches and driven down the road just to see what it would do. There's no movement, there's no anything that happens there. So the whole integrity of the chassis with the slide room is incomparable in the industry.
Yeah, now I'm sure that's very rare that someone has to do that, but
extremely.
In the instance that someone's out there, for some reason a slide out wouldn't come in, is there a Liberty Coach support system that they can reach out to that would be able to walk them through that?
Sure, there's, on top of the Liberty Coach support network, we have a 844 number or 800 number that rings after hours to our main service personnel, all the way down to myself. So somebody is going to answer that number. If somebody doesn't for some reason, it then goes into a company voicemail, which immediately then alerts all of us that there is a voicemail sitting there by text message and by email. So somebody is going to be on the other end of that line quickly. The way that I have always looked at it, the way my family's always looked at it, is it says Liberty Coach on the front of it. We're not going to pass you on to somebody else. We are going to get somebody on the phone, either us or Prevost, or somebody is going to be there to be able to help you. Prevost, of course, also has a support network that's second to none in the world. So there's going to be somebody there from Prevost that can assist as well on the Prevost side of the world, be it a slide room, what have you. But the first call that we want our customer base to make is to Liberty Coach, and we will take it from there.
Yeah, and is that for coaches only under warranty or only bought from you, or what's the specifics?
It is for anybody that owns a Liberty Coach.
Wow, that's very strong, very strong. And talking about warranty too, what's the warranty on this coach?
On a new coach, our warranty is a lifetime workmanship warranty to the first owner. That means that anything that Liberty Coach built, I don't care if it's the fresh water tank that we built, we manufacture, the cabinetry, or if it's a installation problem. If we didn't do something right on the installation of a component and it fails, that's our problem, not the customer's problem. And that's good to the first owner for as long as they own it. Then we do have warranties on the parts that are 2 and 3 years. 1 year just depends on the part. And then we have different warranties for used coaches as well.
squeaks and rattles on the original, to the original owner. Can you double down on that?
I can double down on that. We warranty squeaks and rattles for as long as the customer owns the coach. That is something that I do not tolerate.
I think Frank's the only one in the industry I've ever heard say that. I got to tip my hat to you for that. That's a strong statement.
Absolutely.
There.
Absolutely.
Well, your team did it again. What a beautiful piece of artwork. What's the story on this coach?
Well, this coach is built for a client that has had, I believe, 4 Liberty coaches through the years, and wanted to do a quad slide. So she sat down with Kim, and they went through and designed the interior, also with my brother, for different aspects that they wanted to do as well. This is, of course, if you follow Liberty Coach, this is part of our new look interior that we've been doing now since the 2018 model year, and it's, you know, more enhanced as far as that goes too. So this is the quad slide, which is Prevost flat floor on the passenger side. So this floor will drop down approximately 3 inches down, and then the slide room will transition over the top of it. So when we were down in the bays, if people have followed the Prevost part of it enough, we didn't lose any height in the bay with this drop down floor, because it's the same level as the tunnel arrangement that's in the coach. So then again, when the slide goes out, when it reaches its end point, the floor will come up and then the slide will come back into mate.
Yes, sir.
So this has got the galley floating on the slide room as far as this design.
Yeah, and talking about the weight, I've had a lot of people tell me that driving a Liberty coach is smoother than any other coach on the road. And I was also told that you guys weigh every component before it goes into the coach. Is that true?
We weigh a lot of the components before it goes in, and then we weigh the coach after it's completed. We have been successful in being able to balance the coach not only side to side, but the front to rear. So when we were doing the walkthrough on the outside of the coach, you probably noticed that all of the heavy equipment is toward the back of the coach. You have more axle, you've got more weight carrying capacity back there than you do toward the front. So we have the 2 empty pass-through bays on the front, which gives the coach a very sporty feel going down the road. I guess the real testament to that is customers that have come from other coaches, Class A's, or even other Prevost product will say their past coach felt clumsy going down the road compared to a Liberty coach. And I have said this for years and years, if you could put a blindfold on people and let them drive it, the coach that they're going to come back to as far as the best handling and quietest on the inside is going to be a Liberty coach, without a doubt.
Talking about driving the coach, let's take a look back up at this cockpit area.
So our cockpit arrangement was designed by my brother, Kurt. This goes back to the 2016 model year. There's 18 different molds that make up our complete cockpit arrangement, from the driver's side all the way around to the entry door. We then, because we do our own upholstery work as well, we then got new machines, sewing machines, to be able to do some people call it baseball stitch, around the dash componentry all the way around. We then have a 12-inch iPad Pro to be able to operate all functions of the coach, as well as the driving portion. So you've got your camera system. I mentioned the bird's eye view camera system that we have on board the coach. So this gives us the complete periphery around the coach, plus we can cycle the cameras from front, rear, left side, and right side over here. And then you've got your traditional backup camera as well. And we also have a hitch view camera on the coach that'll take us right down to the bumper, which we call the hitch camera. So this is taking us right down onto the bumper so that you can see the ball when it's on there. So when you're backing up to hook up a trailer, you can do it just by a solo person as opposed to having somebody else back there with you. Our battery monitoring, we can monitor the state of charge, we can monitor the amount of amperage coming in and out, plus we can do every other function from the driver area as well, and have the Copilot RV navigation system going too. So the cockpit arrangement, as far as the switching, positioning of everything, is a very short arm's length to getting to everything, touching, what have you. We have a separate monitor here, which is very sweetly installed. This allows you to, say, run a backup camera or a trailer camera here, and then run navigation down on the iPad arrangement. So condensing it down to a couple of monitors, as opposed to having monitors all over the place.
So is it pre-wired for a trailer camera then?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Sure is, yep.
And then
multiple cameras. So, you know, people have not only a camera on the exterior of the trailer, but they may have multiple cameras inside the trailer as well. So we provide for that.
Yes, sir. Talking about trailers, what's the towing capacity of this coach?
On this particular coach, the towing capacity on Prevost is a 20,000 pound capacity and 2,500 pounds on the tongue weight.
Nice. Yeah, now I see these big touch pads as we're walking through the coach here. What's the story with those?
Well, this is going to be the same type of situation that we have on the dash. So the interface is loading up here. We transitioned, my son Alex does a significant amount of the programming, if not all of it, that we have for Crestron. So this panel here is what's called Smart Graphics. So Smart Graphics is a more enhanced, visually pleasing graphic package, and we had to have the power to be able to run this. So the processor for Crestron had to be changed, and a number of other components had to be changed to be able to run the Smart Graphics, which allows you to have a quicker response time. So when you're hitting a button, it's coming back to you immediately without thinking, okay, what's going on here? So that's our package here that we have on both the iPad here and in the bedroom, as well as our wired panels that we have throughout the coach also.
Yeah, and this coach does have the Josh AI system, kind of similar to Alexa, or?
Josh AI is an option that people can do. All of the coaches are all the coaches are programmed for it. The Josh AI module is a wireless device that you can sit one in the front, one in the rear, and it's very conversationalist. So you can tell it to do multiple functions at one time. The beauty about Josh is it stores no information. So there's nothing that's being, you know, brought up to the cloud and hidden up there, what have you. So it's a single 5-second conversation, and then it does the commands, and then it's done.
Yeah, and you mentioned your son Alex. I think he did a video on your YouTube channel displaying that. I'll make sure to leave a link to your channel in the description below.
Thank you.
Is this a sleeper sofa here? Or?
So this sofa is a little bit unique compared to the regular jackknife sofa. This is actually a convertible sofa. So this folds out because we have so much room in the quad. Comes all the way out with an air mattress, so it's essentially almost a queen-size bed that you got here. So that's pretty sweet.
Nice. And then this is something I don't see in too many Liberty Coach, a booth design. Is this something you guys do very often? Or?
It doesn't happen often, but this is Liberty Coach's own exclusive design. We make this in-house. So this was asked to have an opposed booth in the coach, so we designed it. There's a huge amount of storage underneath on both ends here.
Yeah, and I've got to point out, I'm in a lot of different motorhomes, and I see a lot of different booths, but the depth of the seats in this booth are much larger than any booth I've seen.
You got all kinds of room here, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
it's
you can
countertop
easily
space.
seat 4 people here.
Yes, sir. Without an extension,
No,
yeah.
with no extension whatsoever. Plus, when the slides are in, you can still utilize all aspects of the galley.
Yeah, I like that, not having to adjust anything, just stays put. So going back to the galley area.
So what we were talking about before as far as weight, when we were talking about weight carrying capacity and how we do things compared to everybody else, let's go back, let's rewind the videotape to 2001. We had Prevost coming out with the first slides. So there's now 1,500 pounds being added to the coach, basically with all these slide rooms. We need to figure out how we can pull the weight out of the coach. So my brother did a significant amount of research. He runs our manufacturing facility, and as I mentioned before, does all of our interior design work and cabinetry design and what have you. He came up with a material that is used in the super fast mega yachts that are out there and airplanes and what have you. And so we were able to pull essentially almost 2,000 pounds out of the coach with this material.
Wow.
So basically there's no weight here. This is a foam-based material. It is laminated. We do have, this as particular is a walnut veneer, open grain walnut veneer on here. The weight that you've got here that you'll feel is the handles and the hinges. You could dump this in the water for a year and it would never change. It will always stay straight. It never gets creep or bends or turns or what have you over time. So we're the only ones in the industry using that.
And how long have you been using that?
We go back to, well, being this is 2021, we're a little over 20 years.
Wow.
Using this material. And that's done in all of the cabinet doors, drawer fronts, some of the side panels, but then the way that that is all machined, because we do everything on a CNC machine that's 5x12. So the cabinet parts that are done are kind of like done in a puzzle, and then they're all epoxied together to give them strength. So there's a science to all of that, but at the end of the day you have a cabinet that's extremely strong and durable. Countertops, we may fly cut those down to be thinner to have weight reduction, and we do a polymer honeycomb material to back it, so you still have a nice solid piece.
I'm sure there's a lot of thought that goes into this to back up your statement of no squeaks or rattles for the life to the first owner.
Sure, there's no question. A part of it is when you look at how our cabinetry is all done, you may notice here that the cabinet goes beyond the ceiling, and that's because of the fact that our cabinetry is all put up to the structure of the coach, and then we put the ceilings up last. That allows us to be able to have very short screws that are holding the cabinetry up to the framework of the coach. If there's not something there, we'll put a stringer there to be able to secure the cabinetry to the coach. Again, this keeps the cabinet from moving. So you're not going to have your traditional area here that's going to squeak in the corners. There's no movement here whatsoever.
I know Liberty Coach went to the new look interior a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one of the new look interior coaches?
Yes, it is. This is one of the new look interiors. So when you see what we do here with the fabrics and what have you that Kim picks out, our leathers are all full grain, full hide. They're full thickness, so they have a lot of lasting durability. You've been in a number of our coaches that are 20 plus years old. Most of them have the same leathers and fabrics in them from the beginning. It's a testament to what we do. It also is more expensive to do it that way.
And I just drove a 20-year-old Liberty recently. No squeaks or rattles. Even though it wasn't the original owner, still really a testament to Liberty Coach. So,
may also notice in here, Andrew, when you come in, is our height. You're a tall guy. I'm fairly tall as well. We do a lot in the air conditioning duct work. This has got 4 roof air conditioning units in the coach. We engineer those ducts. They're all radius, so there's very little noise. You don't have a lot of the turbulent flow issues that you run into with square duct work. So we are able to not only, because we machine our own duct work, we're able to make it in a different size somewhat to be able to get the same volume out and reduce the noise. There's also a way that we install the air conditioning systems to be able to keep the sound of the compressors and the vibration down. Not only by each AC unit, we essentially go through and change how some of the components in the air conditioning units are mounted to be able to lessen the vibration, but then also how the unit's mounted and the foam that we do in the ceiling for sound deadening as well.
Talking about AC unit, I'm assuming this coach has rooftop units. Does have probably doesn't have bus air with the quad slide. What's the AC setup in this coach?
So there are 4 15,000 BTU reverse cycle Dometic AC units on the roof. And there's obviously 4, there's front, there's galley, there's hall, and there's bedroom. And then they're ducted to the areas that they need to serve as well. Plus the returns are done through the ceiling also. Again, this gives us the ability to keep things lower profile and quieter.
And how long can you run those on just the lithium batteries?
So on the Volta system, let's say for an example, you're parking for overnight in the Walmart or something like that, you could run 1 AC unit for 16 hours before the generator is going to kick on auto start. You can run 2 AC units for probably 7.5 to 8 hours.
Wow.
Before that's going to happen. So then and that's just not using the AC. I mean, you've got the refrigerator going, you've got lights going, you're utilizing the other aspects of the coach as well that are running on DC power. So you've got those other aspects that are drawing down on the system as well.
Yeah, and is there any type of insulation that the Liberty Coach has that other Class A RVs wouldn't have that help keep the temperature more sustainable?
Well, Prevost, when they build the chassis, they do a blow-in insulation on the sides, which is a urethane expanding that is all then trimmed down to be the same as the structure. The roof panels are cast pieces that go up into the ceiling that again are fairly thick, about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick. We have a total insulation factor basically in the coach that's right around an R13 factor, and then we make some changes and do some additions as well, especially in the roof areas, to be able to keep that heat down. The roof is a single sheet of aluminum, as opposed to the Class A manufacturers out there. There is a single sheet that is run over the top when the chassis is being built, that is then heated and is formed to the roof, and then it has a rivet line that runs down the side. So you essentially have no way for the system to leak other than where we or the other conversion companies cut into the roof. So we have a much less pervious situation on the roof than other manufacturers.
Is it common to get leaks in these, or?
Very uncommon.
Very uncommon.
Very
yes,
uncommon.
Sir. Yes, sir. Well, this is a 1.5 bath coach, and I keep peeking back into that bedroom there. You want to keep showing us the rest of the coach?
Absolutely. So another part that we do in here is the end-cut suede fabric on our doors. Our doors that we use are all solid. They're not any hollow doors here. You've got a nice solid closure, no rattles. This is obviously the 1.5 bath. This is the center bath, or what we call the ETR. Countertops that are done, the actual crystal on the faucet back here.
Yeah, beautiful, bright half bathroom here with the Jack and Jill doors. Now, when we were going to the half bathroom, I think we walked by. People are probably wondering where the refrigerator is. It's almost hidden back here.
Right, we're doing the Fisher Paykel refrigerator with a freezer drawer system below and the ice maker as well here.
Nice.
All
and
in.
Yeah, Liberty Coach finishes out the face
Yes.
of that to
Yes.
make it look like a piece of furniture that belongs in the coach.
Exactly. You come into here, we've got other technical aspects here. We try and keep everything, put away as best as possible. We have redundancy built in on the Crestron system, so if you have a wireless system go down, the iPads aren't functioning, you do have the ability to go to wired panels as well as push button panels. Our drawers that we do in the coach are all fully lined.
Yeah, beautiful.
Everything is on a positive latch.
Nice.
Got a nice pantry system here, all lit.
Yeah, very bright lighting, not just lit, but when you open that up, you could see that light strip all the way the length of that cabinet.
Now this is a quad slide. There's a significant amount of storage here. Okay, you've got 2 big hallway closets here with drawers. Another one here. Your washer dryer is going to be behind this door here, which is going to be a Bosch unit.
Absolutely stunning rear bedroom here with the quad slides. Oh, what's all going on back here?
Well, something that we do as far as our company, Liberty Coach, with Kim, my sister-in-law, is all of the fabric selections. We have the largest showroom for picking out our interior decor in the industry. So we do our bedspreads, our pillows, all of that we make in-house. You can see the lighting around the windows is all diffused to give you a single light feature around. The way that the upholstery is done back around on the sides of the bed makes it very soft and comfortable feeling. We do a lot of windows, so we've got windows on the front and back of the slides, the window here. Same thing on the passenger side, you've got windows on both the front and rear of the slide as well as under the TV. You come into the shower arrangement that we've got here as opposed to how everybody else typically does it. That's regular full marble, full thickness marble on that shower wall and floor. So we do a stainless steel pan and then we do a cement base to it, and then we do all rock wall on the walls. So there's a lot of weight that's there, but then you've got a shower that is going to last forever.
Yeah, beautiful shower. And I've got to point out the width of that's got to be, what, close to 4 or 5 feet in depth?
It's a little over 3 feet, actually.
3 feet, okay.
Yep.
And then is this just a little...
It's a seat arrangement.
Okay.
Yep. Fold up. Yep.
Then it looks like this has the...
It's got the Toto bidet.
Yes, sir. Those are
seat.
Becoming very popular.
Right. It's vanity area. Again, the actual crystal, real crystal knobs on the rear vanity faucet.
That's a lot of light there. I just, can't point out how bright that is. Just beautiful finishes and really a lot of room there in your rear bathroom. So you've got a full bath and a half in this coach.
Part of this also is the heating. You know, I mentioned earlier that our roof air conditioning units are heat pumps. We also have 83,000 BTU of diesel-fired S-bar furnace. And then we also have, on the quad slides, we have 4 zones of electric heat in the floor. So we are 100% covered in our flooring as far as heat goes. The matting that we do. So it's a sandwich floor that we build. We machine that floor. We lay the matting in. It is then covered. And then this floor goes on top of it. This floor is extremely lightweight and thin, so it's going to show any imperfections that there is in the floor over time. This is perfectly flat and will never show a problem.
Frank, I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to see this beautiful 2022 Quad Slide Liberty coach. Now, if someone is thinking about ordering a new Liberty coach, what's the availability and who should they get a hold of?
Well, they can get a hold of us here at the dealership. They can get a hold of us through email, coachsales@libertycoach.com. They can talk to any one of our salespeople that we have, from Dave Wishnoff, Dave Wall, Ron Falconeer, Greg Wade, myself. The availability right now is we are sold until, I think our next coach in production would be November of next year, November of 2022, which would be a 23 model coach. So they are, anytime anybody wants to get in, no time like the present.
Any pre-owned Liberty coaches available?
Oh yeah, we have pre-owned coaches. Our inventory levels right now are down to probably the lowest that they've ever been, but we do have coaches that are coming in that I'll either buy or that we'll take on consignment. When we sell a pre-owned coach, it goes through a lengthy PDI that I developed a few years back. So all of the coaches go through the same process, and it is going to be the most extensive PDI process in the industry. I want to make sure that when a customer takes delivery of a used coach, that they feel like it's almost new.
Frank, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to share this beautiful coach with us. I also greatly appreciate all of you out there on YouTube subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Can't wait to talk to you again.